Now let's meet the starting lineup for tonight's home team, the Scouts of Conrad Weiser. Leading off, playing at shortstop, number 33, Nate Piper. Batting second, playing in center field, number 24, Mike Weinhold. Batting third, playing in left field, number 13, Kallie Lutz. Batting fourth, pitcher, number 9, Zach Giles. Batting fifth, catcher, number 3, Mark Minnis. Batting sixth, playing at first base, number 32, Aaron Price. Batting seventh, designated hitter, number 15, Zach Burke. Batting eighth, playing in right field, number 11, Luis Martinez. Batting ninth, playing at third base, number 36, Jared Nyheiser. Starting at second base, number 5, Mark Bilodeau. Head coach, Scott Michael, and the remaining players and coaches of the Scouts of Conrad Weiser High School.
For our thoughts as a coaching staff before the season started is we knew we had a lot of good players coming back from the year before. We had been in the second round of districts, and we expected good things from the group that we had back. It had been, I think we had 11 seniors that year, so it had the makeup of a pretty good year for us.
My thoughts going into the 2010 baseball season were really optimistic because everyone that was on that starting lineup, we had all played baseball together at some point, whether it was through tournament baseball or just through the high school, through the school baseball.
To me, the turning point for the 2010 team, I remember it vividly. A lot of people know we won 24 games in a row, but what they don't realize or remember that we lost 3 games in a row. After our third loss, I remember standing at the fence next to Zach Giles and him looking at me and saying, specifically, he said, "Coach, what's wrong? Why are we losing to Daniel Boone?"
After we lost those 3 games during the season, and we lost them back-to-back like that, it was tough. It was tough, and we lost to Fleetwood. I think Fleetwood was the one where, after we lost to them, it was just, I felt sick. I figured we lost the season, we messed it up, that it would be tough to get back into it.
Changes itself were just, we went back at it, and then we continued to work hard, and we forgot about those losses quickly, and we were able to turn things around.
We entered big games, and there was just a level of confidence. I mean, once we started rolling, after we started winning 3, 4, 5 games in a row, the really neat thing as a coach that I saw was there was a group of guys that walked on the field expecting to win.
I remember being in school that day, just being very jittery and very excited for the school day to be over with and to get to the game. I mainly just remember a lot of excitement. Not so much being nervous. I wasn't really nervous, but it was just a lot of excitement. I was very excited for the school day to be over with and to get to the field and get ready to play. Something that I could have never imagined, I never would have imagined in my lifetime. I remember we thought the county, we should definitely win the county. Districts, we didn't know we were going to win districts, but districts was right there. If we could get by counties, we thought we had a good chance at winning the districts.
One game that I remember very well is the state semifinal game. We were playing Twin Valley, and the 5th time I think we played Twin Valley that season, and we beat them all the other times, and they really gave us a fight that game. But extra innings, I was able to, you know, put a good swing on a ball, and I hit a home run that won the game for us. And I mean, talk about the greatest moment of my life, it's going to be that, and I don't see anything ever topping that. So that state semifinal game was just craziness.
It was nerve-wracking. It was something that was a little different for all of us. In all my experiences as a player, I'd never been at that level. But as a coach, there was a lot of responsibility that I felt that we had as a staff to our players, to the district, to make a good showing. And you know, I felt our kids did it day in and day out by their practice, as well as what they showed on the field for each and every game. So 4 big titles is pretty special, and you know, it's something I never thought would ever happen. And to win a state, to like call yourself a state championship, is just, it's cool. Being a state champion, it's just cool. It's real cool. To win the county for the first time ever, and you know, for the first time in 50 years at Conrad Weiser, was special in the sense in which. You know, to see everybody from Robinsonia, Wernersville, Wilmersdorf head out to that game was neat. The district was just even more icing on the cake, but the state title, obviously, to drive all the way out to Altoona and have a fan base of 800 plus show up was remarkable. The young men that we had, our players that year, were a bunch of young men who enjoyed the game. They had played a lot throughout you know, their early years. They played a lot of summer baseball, and for a lot of them, they also played in the fall. They look forward to the year. You know, the one thing more than anything, I always remember I have an email from, and I still have to this day, from one of our players who said this year's going to be a heck. Please sit back and enjoy it. This is going to be a heck of a ride. And it's still to this day, it's one of the emails that I've saved.
As a whole, I would describe our team as a group of kids that we really were like a family. Everyone got along. There was no like separate groups of friend groups like there were in the past in my like freshman, sophomore, junior year. Our senior year, we really gelled well together. Everybody liked each other and everybody got along.
Whenever we talk about the 2010 championship, there's always talk about that group of guys, and they deserve so much credit. They were wonderful, and it was an honor to coach them. But as far as success is concerned, the one thing that doesn't get mentioned enough, if at all, and to me is a sin, is that we would not have had that success that year at all if it wasn't for Coach Scott Michael. I've coached baseball for over 25 years, and without hesitation, I will say he is the best baseball coach I've ever been associated with. And that team was great, but that team does not win a state championship without Scott Michael. So personally, It was a thrill to coach those kids, and it was an unbelievable honor to coach alongside Coach Michael, because he really brought so much out of those kids. And he would never admit it, and probably even be mad at me for saying it publicly, because he's so humble.